Hello, everyone. 1 past the hour on this beautiful April 20th, 2020. It's hard for me to kind of look past what we're going through right now, Matt, as we continue to experience a time in our lives that just feels so strange, doesn't it?
It's so weird.
It's so weird right now. Well, hopefully over the next hour, Matt and I can help take your mind away from what we're all experiencing together, which is COVID-19, or better known as the coronavirus. And we've got a great show here for you today. I want to thank you listeners for all the support we've gotten over our last week's decision to come live on this show. We are broadcasting live on the Inside Bowling Facebook page, as well as on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/InsideBowling. If you'd like to support the show, you can head over to our website at InsideBowling.com, pick up some merch. You can save 15% with coupon code IBSHOW. That's the new coupon code IBSHOW. We thought it was a little more appropriate than MF2. We'd like to invite all of you to get involved with our show today. It is going to be a good one here today, as we do have one of the greatest bowlers of all time, one of the nicest guys in bowling, one of the most entertaining as well. And I call him a dual Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Famer as a bowler, and he's also a Hall of Famer as he's going into his 20th year of broadcasting on the PBA Tour. We'll be joined by color analyst Randy Pedersen. So just an awesome guy and an awesome guest to have. We're glad that he's with us here on this Monday to share some light and enjoy his time with Matt and I. Matt, how was your weekend, buddy? Did you do anything interesting besides prepping for our show today? I know you've been working all weekend on that one.
Yeah, no, just really kind of relaxing, enjoying some time with the family. It feels kind of like Groundhog's Day every single day. You wake up and you're like, yep, we're still in quarantine here and still kind of bored. But again, safety is the priority here. So I'm just grateful that me and my family are safe, and we're all just kind of spending some time together, relaxing, and looking forward to the show every single day. It was nice to have the weekend off, though. I must say, for people that are out there, there's some like YouTubers and just people in different spaces that do something every single day, and it's really hardcore. I can only imagine how exhausting this is, because last week was just our beta testing week, really, and it still was a lot of work. So I'm looking forward to what the show has in store in the future, and just grateful to be back on this beautiful Monday.
Did you happen to catch the biggest talked about thing this weekend, which was the Michael Jordan documentary, the first 2 episodes? Did you catch that last night on ESPN?
Yeah, I sure did. I sure did catch that. It was an awesome documentary. There's a lot of stuff in there that may not have just known, like that probably, didn't know. I didn't know that they had just came out and said, yeah, this is Phil Jackson's last year of coaching. He's not going to be part of the Bulls organization anymore, which to me is absurd, right? You have a championship program, right? One of the best teams ever assembled, and they're just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna get rid of you after the end of the season. And it's just, we'll rebuild. It seemed crazy to me. Great first 2 episodes.
Really well done. 8 more to go, but looking forward to seeing what they do there. It's like the whole world was just revolving around waiting for this documentary to come out. And then afterwards on SportsCenter, they broke down the documentary like by each little moment that happened throughout. It's a very strange time in the world right now. That's all I can say about that.
Yep.
So speaking of unbelievable moments over the weekend, when Randy Pedersen got back to us and said last week that he would join us on the show, we're happy as hell to have him here. So let's bring him in, Matt. Let's bring in Randy now. This is our guest this fine Monday. Welcome to the program, Randy Pedersen. How you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, how are you? I look a little dark. What happened?
You do? I don't know what happened. You you were fine.
You got a little silhouette.
Let me see if we can fix that. Hang on, I didn't change a thing. I paid the electric bill. I'm not sure what's going on. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, now you're turning.
Right,
now
right. Let me see if I can brighten this
there
up.
We go. There's the money maker.
Let's see. Hang on. Stay with me. All right. There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
It looks like.
Now we're cooking with fire. Okay. What's
Randy,
going on, guys?
Welcome to the program, man.
Thanks. Let me just get steady here. And all right. There we go. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. I know you watched every episode last week in their entirety because you were texting me telling me what a great program it was.
I didn't see one. I did. Honestly, Mike, the first I heard about it was when you sent me a text asking me if I could be on the show, and I said, absolutely. That was the first I'd known about your show. So I think that, with the situation we're in, a lot of us are doing this now, and we've got this what's it called, the Morning Bolt, which I did a couple weeks ago with Del Ballard and Gary Holzenberg, and there was even some talk about possibly having a weekly Randy Pedersen show, calling it the Pedersen Report or the Pedersen Project or something like that. And then you got Barnes and Stu, they're doing this as well. So it's different times we're living in, that's for sure.
Yeah, you should do it, man. You should definitely do it.
Yeah, no, I told Gary, hey, I'm all in. Let's make it happen. So I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, but those guys are doing Over a Storm right now. They were kind of the ones that championed this whole program and got it going first. They were the first to doing this on a daily basis. You got to commend those guys over there for doing that. That's
sure. Yep. Yeah. And the Morning Bolt's pretty cool show, and all the people they get on there. And so yeah, it's certainly something that I would love to do. Yeah.
So Randy, you just met Matt Farber for the first time right before the show. You guys had a virtual handshake. Did that feel pretty satisfying to you?
No.
How about you, Matt?
It's always an honor to be in the presence of a legend. So I'll take any virtual fist bump, handshake, whatever I could get. He knows I exist now in the world, so that's acceptable to me.
There's nothing better than the human touch, bro. So we'll just this will be just kind of a preliminary, and then once we get back on our feet, we'll do the the man shake and stuff. So.
Yeah, we'll dap it up.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll capture it on film for you too, so you guys will have
a memory that we can have forever.
Yeah. Hey, sorry about the hat, guys, but my hairdresser, she's MIA right now. So she's.
Are you kidding me? Look at what I got going on right now. I'm gonna be wearing a beanie for the rest of the week, probably.
Mike, now that you pointed it out, your hair does look got a little wild side to it. Yeah,
it's definitely wild. That's
Matt looks fine. He looks fine.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I got a haircut right before this all started. So
I only have one thing to say. Who's freaking laughing at the Floby now? Huh?
Yeah,
nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in Chia pets too. So, Randy, let me ask you something. What have you been doing since this whole pandemic happened? What have you just been? Have you just been sitting at home? You been playing any golf? What are you doing?
Just drinking heavily, Mike.
Yeah. Every day?
So our club is still open, but they closed it to any guests, so it's just members. And they've, put in a bunch of precautions. You don't touch the flag stick. They got these little foam things in the cups, so the ball doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the cup. There's no sand rakes. Only one per cart. Most of us have our own carts anyway. And then there's no congregating. We basically go. We play our money game, and then we leave. The restaurant in bars still open, but only to go. You can't even go inside. And so everybody's done a pretty good job of just kind of staying away, because I think we're all very thankful that we at least have something to do. And a lot of people aren't that fortunate. So, but even with that, I'm with Matt. It's like starting to get Groundhog Day. It's like, okay, what am I? Well, I only have one thing to do today. All right, two. I can clean my place, and then I can go play golf. And you can only clean so much. And so yeah, it's, and I think that it's real easy to lose sight of how difficult this is on so many other people, because I actually have something to do. And there's some people out there suffering so terribly right now. And obviously my heart and my thoughts go out to those folks. And hopefully, this thing will be over with soon.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Take us back to the World Championship. Tell us kind of what things were like in Vegas when all this started coming down. The PBA was making all these different moves, and then you had to broadcast a show with no fans. What was that whole experience like?
Well, I'll take you. Let's go back a couple of days prior to the telecast when I'm getting ready to get on a flight. So my flight was leaving from Orlando to Vegas at 7:30 at night. And so I was up, packed, and standing by the phone. So we first got a message that said, "Hey, we're not sure what's going to happen." And I'm like, "Well, my flight leaves at 7:30." And you know, of course, they're in Vegas, and I think that was the day they had the players meeting, and you know, all this fallout hit me all at once. So I'm packed for 5 shows, suits and ties and shirts and whatnot. And 5 minutes before I'm leaving for the airport, I get the call that says, "We're only doing 1 show, and there won't be any fans." And so I was like, okay, so now flight arrangements have to be changed. Obviously, the accommodations were changed. And we get there, and, you know, Vegas South Point's one of the busiest hotel and casinos I've ever been in, and they were half full. You know, South Point's always got something going on. And even while we were there, they had something going on. They had, I think it was steer roping or some kind of rodeo thing. And even with that, the place was half full. And then, you know, we did our player interviews. We do the show the next day, and we had this nice podium out front, down by the lanes where Norm and Dave and I would sit, kind of do the pregame stuff. And then I think halfway through that, we came back, you know, just that nice setting, that nice look, kind of similar to what we had at the was it the team, or was it the the playoffs? So to not have any fans there was weird, man. It was just like, but you know, like the players, you just kind of get into the mode, and you go. It was a live show, so you just kind of get into your game mode and you do your thing.
Yeah, it was bizarre,
Yeah.
for sure. And then Belmo at the end hugged his opponent. Were you thinking about that at all? Like,
I missed that. Missed it. You're so used to seeing that, right? And it was, yeah, totally whiffed on that one. I think the focus was so much on him winning in front of his family for the first time ever. You know, them all being there was pretty awesome and emotional, and we were all kind of wrapped up in that. I think we all kind of whiffed on the two hugging it out at the end.
Yeah. So
yeah, and you go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, you know, Belmo winning in front of his family for the first time ever in his career. Do you think that, and having been obviously an astounding player yourself, do you think that having your family there to watch you for the first time puts an incredible amount of pressure on you? Do you think it helps because you obviously have all their support right then and there? Do you think it's somewhere in the middle? How do you think that helps you or hurts you as a player?
Well, I think it was much more pressure for him, being that it was the first time, you know. His kids watched every shot he threw that week, and that's on all the patterns, and you know, throughout the entire competition, they were living and breathing on every shot he threw. And there was only one thing on his mind, and that was to win for his family and win in front of his family. And now he had won his very first title in front of Kimberly, his wife, but never in front of his kids. And so I remember him telling me via text afterwards that was the most nervous he's ever been.
Wow. Yeah, I can, you know, in my young career of bowling on the lanes, I know it is weird. You know, it is weird having your parents watching you be there. You know that they would never judge you for losing and be mad at you and call you a failure and all these things. I mean, at the same time, you know, you want to impress your family. You want to show that your family, like, hey, outside the house, I'm still the man, you know, like I'm cool out here. And so I think that's a cool experience, you know, and I think a lot of people were like, oh my God, whoa, you know, Belmo had an interesting season from the start where, you know, he kind of showed his first signs of actually being human. You know, he was making all these shows, but when he was showing up on the shows, he was struggling at first. And then he comes out at the World Series and his family is there and he struggles, doesn't have a superb first block out there at the World Series. And so I think that it was great to see that he was able to, you know, just like like any other bowler, put that first round of the World Series behind him, and then he came out and he bowled great the rest of the week, made a historical run to get the top seed for the World Championship. So it was great to see him go out there and have all that success.
Do you remember you remember what happened in the title match?
Yeah. Is there a specific point that you're referencing here?
Just tell me, because I can't remember. I can't even remember who he beat.
Yeah. That's funny. He beat EJ.
Okay.
And the match, remember the match before, Simo almost made the 7-10, which was insane.
And EJ was the tournament leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
I think that to sum up what you were talking about, Matt, is that Belmonte has spoiled us, and he's our Tiger Woods. And it's like, how many times did you watch Tiger on the front page of the leaderboard on Sunday and then not win? And you're like, oh, this guy's done. This guy's finished. What a hack. And then he turns around and wins. And he turns around and wins like 3 in a row. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing with Belmo, and we're so used to him winning, and winning is so difficult to do on television. When you look at how many shows Walter Ray has made in his career and how many wins, and I mean, this guy's made, I think he's bowled like 55 majors, and he's made the show in 28 of them. I mean, it's insane. So the one thing that did surprise me through that stretch that you're talking about was he actually publicly came out with a message kind of stating that mentally he was missing something. Yeah. And I was like, this is interesting. I mean, you've never heard this guy say stuff like this. And because typically mentally he may be the best on tour, right?
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. And then the very next week he wins. So I think that Belmonte's going to be great for as long as his body holds up and as long as he wants to do it. I mean, I could see this guy. I could honestly see this guy winning 18 majors. I mean, what is he, 37 years old, 36 or 37? Right. Let's face it, nobody has proven yet that when Belmonte is firing on all cylinders, that anybody can beat him. He's just that much better than everybody else. And I mean, when you're talking guys like EJ Tackett and Marshall Kent and go down the list. I mean, these players are phenomenal. This Chris Prather kid. I mean, these players are phenomenal bowlers. But to have Belmonte when he's on be that much better is amazing.
Yeah. And it's hard to see from home, right? It's hard to see from home and to put it all into perspective and see how much better he is than everybody else. And even some of the guys on tour will admit it, and they'll just say, dude, he's just that much better than everybody else that's out here. Yeah. And I'm sure as a player, when you were out there competing, you were coming out, you were on the scene before Belmo really obviously, was doing any of this stuff. Was there anybody that you competed against that really kind of showed the same characteristics out on the lane as Belmo does right now?
Oh, I think Weber was kind of like that. Pete Weber was a bit like that. I was coming in as Marshall, and Mark Roth and Marshall Holman were kind of on their way out. But still competed against both of those great Hall of Famers. And, you had Parker, who was Parker Bone III, who was just amazing. But I would say that if there was one guy, it would have been Pete Weber.
Yeah. I mean, he was iconic, no doubt. Mike, what are your thoughts? Any thoughts here on any of the things that we're kind of shooting around here?
Here's my thoughts. Whenever you're dealing with technology, and we hadn't had an issue until today, your connection is a little weak, Matthew.
Is it?
Yeah, are you seeing that as well, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, I don't know if
Mm.
you want to leave the stream and come right back.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
Because I want to make sure that your segments that you have for Randy is perfect. So you might want to reestablish your internet connection there. Then the second thing is with technology is our stream went down on Facebook for whatever reason, but we are on YouTube, so we simulcast and we'll re-upload this to Facebook. So we're dealing with that with no problem whatsoever. But Matt, you've just been a little shaky there, so we'll let him figure that out. But Randy, I want to talk to you about. Let's go back a little bit. You know, me being a bowling junkie guy, and growing up when I did watching bowling and watching guys like yourself and Weber and Ballard and Ferraro, and I mean the list goes on, Wiseman and Voss and Walter and whatever. I'll leave out people, of course, but I had the honor when I was working at Storm, because I did this broadcasting stuff. You and I got to work together a few times, and I really enjoyed that time together. Do you remember the first time we worked together?
Wasn't it at one of your events in St. Louis?
It was the IB Open.
Yeah, the IB Open. Yep.
And do you remember I was also running that event? And
you ran you ran the event. We did the show. It was crazy.
By the time I got to the show, I was so exhausted working on like no sleep, and I was getting ready to work with you for the first time ever. And here I am pinching myself like I'm getting ready to work with Randy Pedersen. And do you remember on that broadcast, I was like, I wasn't quite myself to get started, and you on the first commercial break said, "Bro, just slow down." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too much longer after that is when I pulled out the French tickler reference to a light shot that tripped out a bucket, and I had no idea what I was saying. But that goes down in history for me for a couple of reasons. It was an honor. Number two, don't ever run a tournament and be the lead play-by-play guy at the same time.
Yeah, that's rough.
And then number three, we didn't know each other that well, but you took the time, number one, to come to the event. Number two, to help me out when I was struggling. And since then, I feel like, we've worked on several broadcasts together over the years. And
yep.
I remember Bowl Expo one year with Louis we met and Mike Chadwick.
That beautiful Storm booth we had, it was awesome.
We did. That was awesome. And then I remember a few years later, we had Bo Burton come in and we did some work with Storm together, and you anchored a couple sets there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been fun over the years having the opportunity to work with you. I learned a lot from you. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody that was watching, that working with RP is always a blast. And those times in Vegas, we had some good ones, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, we had some good goes in Vegas, that's for sure. I want to say that this one year you just kept everything you touched, you kept winning.
Yeah.
You just had a wad of cash and everything, and you'd bet on a game and you'd win, and you hit this game and that parlay. And every morning when I saw you to go to work, oh bro, killed him again last night. Like, geez. Guy had just a wad of money that could choke a horse, and it was like, you were so hot that week.
Yeah, and you bring back memories for me, but I don't think I've told too many people this. I'm going to say it publicly now. I have not placed a bet since November of 2018. I decided to shut it down completely. And
wow.
I have not placed a single bet. I play in a fantasy sports league still with my friends and stuff, but I've been focusing on my business, and things have gotten a lot better since I've just dedicated myself to just enjoying sports for what it is, and less distractions. It's been a good move for me.
Lead champion is exactly right. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. They have a new motto now. Well, they used to before they shut Vegas down. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's whatever you bring to Vegas stays in Vegas. So, yeah.
Like Matt has his internet back working okay.
Yeah, Matt, you're much more handsome now. Mike, you kind of look a little. You got a little Dan Patrick look going with the professional mic and the stand there, and I mean, I'm feeling like I'm still back in the '80s with dial-up AOL internet here, and you're just all decked out.
Yeah, well, now my head's not going to fit through that door. You can see behind. Dan Patrick is my idol. I love that guy, so I appreciate the reference very much. But Matt, I think you've got some things queued up here, some technology things that we can go over with Randy that I think our fans of our show will really enjoy. So what do you got for us first?
Yeah. So first, actually, I think we're just gonna dive into it here. Actually, you know, Randy, do you want to do some bowling, or do you want to do some fun first?
Oh, I'm all about fun.
All right, so let's just jump in here with the fun, Randy. And we know it's been a little bit since you've been on TV. We've got this quarantine thing going on. We don't really know when we're going to be able to get back on the lanes, when the PBA is going to fire back up. So we want to make sure that we can help keep your broadcasting and commentating skills as sharp as they possibly can. And I'm not sure, do you follow Joe Buck on Twitter at all?
I don't follow him on Twitter. No, I see some of his feeds, and one that came across my Twitter account because I think Rob Stone liked it, and I follow Rob, was that I believe Joe Buck was offered a pretty fair amount of money to commentate during a porno movie or in a porno movie. And Joe Buck's response was only a response that only Joe Buck could give. It was priceless. And then I retweeted because Rob liked it, and then I retweeted to Rob. So at Rob's, I think it's Rob Stone on Fox or something. I said basically, so Rob, is there a reason why I wasn't informed of this opportunity?
Well, in addition to getting offered 18 and over commentary opportunities, Joe Buck has also been getting videos from fans about all random activities. And he's just voicing over them and commentating on these random things that people are sending him. And last week, when we had Dave Lamont and we had Dave Ryan on here as well, we kind of put together a little compilation of clips for them to commentate over and to make sure that we can keep you, again, as sharp as possible. So when bowling gets back on the lane, you're ready to call those matches. We put together a couple of clips here for you to commentate. So if you're ready and you're down for this, we'll throw these clips up here.
Before you go to the clips, have you heard of a guy named Bob Menery?
I have not.
Oh. Well, so he takes a clip, like for example, do you guys remember the infamous Joe Flacco, Kiko Alonso, where Kiko ripped his head off? Where Joe Flacco was scrambling and Kiko just came up and just leveled him. His helmet goes flying. So this Bob Menery guy will take these clips.
And I do know who you're talking about.
The only difference is he drops F-bomb after F-bomb.
Yep.
And it's hysterical.
Yeah. He does them for basketball. He does them for all different sports.
For all sports, right. So like the first one I saw was that one. And he said, hi, everybody. Bob Menery here at Miami Stadium. And I'd like to start by saying, F you, CBS. There's better places I could have been this weekend. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever seen this guy. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's a regional announcer I've never heard of before. And then all of a sudden he drops this F-bomb. And I'm like, howling. I'm like, okay, this is a spoof. So, but I promise no F-bombs.
Yeah, it's okay. Good. Sounds good. And I promise none of these are like 18 and over video. These are all family videos here that we've got put together.
All right. So do I get a heads up on what they are? Or?
Yeah, I'll preface them for you. This one, we're starting it slow here. We're going to gradually grow the level of action with each video. So this one's starting off slow, nice, easy, not too much going on here.
You spelled my name wrong.
I did?
Yeah, it's Ian.
That's a rookie mistake.
Oh yeah, that is a rookie mistake. Well, it's a good thing that it doesn't really matter. So let's.
Hey Matt. Yeah, it matters to me. Okay,
you're right, and that's all that matters. That's all, and really, that's all that matters. That it matters to you. So I apologize for that, Randy. I'll get that right. How about when we shake hands finally, or when we dap up? I'll spell your name to you when we do that.
That ship might have already sailed on you, Matt. Just saying. You had one job, and that was to get my name right.
Yeah.
All right, let's
go. Oh crap! All right, let's get into it here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
So am I just going to talk over what I see? Is that the deal?
Yep. Yeah, that's the deal here. That's the deal. All right.
You got it.
Here we go.
All right, everybody. Here we are in Wimbledon. And apparently the dog has stole the show. The players have left the stadium and the courts because there's no freaking balls left because of that animal.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a good start here.
All
All
right.
right, so we're gonna let this. It's just classic puppy just chilling in the heaven.
That's so,
All right, so here
that's
we
so
go.
cute.
Number two. Number two. We're gonna start getting into some athletic performance here. Some of the best athletes on the planet are gonna show up in this next video. So let's just be prepared. It'll show twice. We'll show it twice so you can watch it through, kind of take us through, and then maybe break it down a little bit more on the second go.
Okay. So I'm supposed to be talking?
Yeah, these are your elite athletes here.
Now, these are some of the most spectacular animals on the face of the earth. Beautiful porpoises. I believe that's an Atlantic bottlenose dolphin. Recently just freed from SeaWorld. Look how freaking happy they are. They ought to burn that place to the ground. It's nice to see these fine animals and showing all their agility out in the wild.
That was perfect.
Look at that majestic animal.
Oh, that was great. All right, this third one here is going to be a video of something that I think everybody likes, and if you don't like it, then you probably shouldn't just be watching the show because you're really just not a human. So so let's roll this here for you, Randy.
Well, that looks like somebody getting ready to make a lot of people happy. Look at the lusciousness, the goodness. That is pure, unadulterated love right there as it melts into the most beautiful specimen you could ever put in your mouth. That's right, the chocolate chip cookie. Look at it. Look at how savory, how golden brown. Oh my God, where's the milk?
That'll be when we get you back on the show next time and I spell your name correctly. I'll throw some milk in there with that as well. We'll hit the jackpot. All right. This fourth one, we got two more for you. This fourth one here is a little bit more action packed. You'll be able to see what's going on. It's from one of the most well-known world championship events in sporting. That's all I'm going to say here.
All right. It looks like we've got the South African curling team getting ready to go at it. Now, I promise you, these guys probably aren't very good because if there's one thing I do know, it's not geography, but they don't play curling in South Africa. Now, these four guys are trying to figure out what the hell is going on and how this game is played. That I don't think is part of the game, but hey, just go with the flow, folks. Look at him. He must think he's back home in South Africa when it's about 103 degrees right now. He puts on this thing on his head. They're going to slide his ass down the ice. Look at them mop it up after this guy, and look at the concentration. It's either concentration or constipation. Not sure which one is going on there. But yeah, these guys should never play this game. Ever.
All right.
Human.
Randy, you're doing great, man. This is the last one here. And to preface this, when Dave Lamont came on, we showed a race from the Canterbury Park extreme races that they have there in Wisconsin. And the first one that we showed was llama and unicorns. And then we had Dave Ryan on, and we showed him he called a zebra race. And so now we pulled up this own little special extreme race for you. And let's see you call this one.
Just so you know, unicorn? No, it's unihorn. Okay, thanks. Go ahead and run it.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
All right, here we are at Canterbury Park, and it's an ostrich race. Holy crap, I've never seen anything like it. And look at the midgets falling off of these animals. Can you win without riding on the back of one of these things? Look at the guy in the purple-ish. Oh, he's down for the count. How about a mouthful of dirt for you, mister? And the only winners in this race are the birds. Take another look. Here's a close-up of a man taking a faceful right there. Oh, and he gets stepped on. How's your pancreas doing, pal? Look at this guy here. He's just getting hit right in the face with a rump of a giant bird. Here you go. Boy, he looks happy until this happens. Wait for it. Wait for it. Rob Gronostrichski. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, man, that was amazing. Dude, this is where we need the soundboard here.
That was pretty good off the cuff, man. Yeah, and not knowing what you were going to watch. Yeah, that was pretty good.
We're just trying to keep you sharp, man. We're just trying to keep you employed. This is our on-the-job training, just making sure those dendrites up in your brain are working, sir.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure because of the solitary confinement I've been in for 3 weeks now, it's probably most of those are probably gone. All right, what's next, boys? What else you got for me? Let's go.
All right, well, let's bring this full circle here, and let's talk a little bit about one of the events that probably means the most to you. And we're not talking about the overplayed, overwatched, overtalked about 8-pin here. We're going to take it back to a moment of your career that obviously is something that you're going to remember forever. This is from the 1987 Pba National Championship. This is your first PBA title ever. And you had to bowl against none other than the amazing Amleto Monticelli, in the title match. This is the 10th frame here. Do you remember this moment here? I'm assuming that you do.
Yeah, it's my first major.
Yes.
It was the national championship, and I'd beaten Ozio, Marshall, Holman. In fact, I almost shot 300 at Holman. I had 289 against Marshall, and I bowled this guy. Looks like he's fresh out of Venezuela, and I needed the first hit in the 10th to beat him.
Incredible. And not only did you need it, you dead flush these shots.
I had a little tomahawk 10 action. That wasn't bad.
What was that wrist thing you were wearing there?
Oh, that was what was that thing called? I can't remember what the heck that thing was called.
An incentive to use it on the show for a bonus or something? Or
it's the only reason you wore anything on your wrist back then. Remember the old Dick Weber Wristmaster 2s?
Mm-hmm.
They'd take all the metal out. Butch Soper would come by and say, "Here's $1,000 if you wear this on the show." I think that was the winner.
Yeah, that was right there.
I think that was the winning shot. Did I need I can't remember if I needed the first hit or if I needed a double.
Well, I don't think you could have locked him out. I think Amleto.
That's right. He got up and left a 4-pin to lose.
Yep, that's exactly right. What was going through your mind during this moment? Would you rather, in this type of a situation, would you rather go? Were you ever have a strategy where you were a go first in the 10th always kind of guy? Did you kind of see who you were bowling against? Did you like to put the pressure on the other person? Did you like to be sitting on the bench and have to double the win? What were you like when you were bowling big time?
I was I was the guy that my first choice was which lane I liked better. So that was my first choice, and then after that, I liked the ball in my hand, and I like to finish last. Now, obviously, I didn't get that choice because Amleto was a tournament leader. So look at the face with no wrinkles, and look at me now. I look like a Shar-Pei with a drinking problem. Look at how smooth and clean that face was.
Yeah, well,
oh my Lord!
Exactly the same. Amleto hasn't aged at all.
No, well, he runs 25 miles a day. Yeah, okay. He needed 2 strikes to win. I don't know if he got the first one or not, but he 4 pins to lose.
Oof.
Oh, he yanked the crap out of that. Come on. Wasn't even close.
And we have ourselves a first major champion. Randy Pedersen takes it home here at the Pba National. We'll be right back to talk to Randy right after these messages.
Notice the difference between then and now, right? There was no hugging it out then.
No,
it was just a handshake. And now these guys are always hugging and I'm not sure what I like better, just the regular handshake or, seeing the camaraderie with a lot of the guys. But it seems like everybody hugs it out, even if they don't like each other, except Rash and Belmo.
Yeah, we turned it into the Care Bears tour a little bit.
Yeah.
He's hugging it out.
Were you ever, Randy, a guy that would give somebody high five in match play?
Let's wait for the hug. Oh, yeah. That wasn't even close to what they're doing nowadays.
No, that was like with your in-laws because you have to.
Dude, that was a total FU hug. Yeah. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, F you. Okay. Thanks. Make it look good for the camera,
Yep. Something that always boggles my mind is, I know when I'm bowling, I could be your best friend. I could be your brother. I could be whoever it is. If I'm bowling against you, there's no chance that I'm going to give you a high five when I'm bowling against you in match play. I'll give you like if you make a 7-10 or a big 4, I'll say, okay, like nice shot, nicely done, respect.
Right.
Sometimes you see these people and they're bowling a match play and they're like, hey, good shot. Like, I'm trying to beat you. I'm not trying to root you on.
Yeah. It was something that started, I don't know how long ago on the tour. And, during qualifying, everybody would, you get a strike and everybody's hands out. And I'm like, okay, well, it's just kind of the way it's done. Once you got to match play, though, that there was only a couple of guys that did that. For the most part, I'm over here sitting on the left settee when he's on the right lane. When he goes to the left lane, I'm moving over to the guy. I don't want to be anywhere near this dude.
Right.
Now, like you said, I mean, if he makes a 7-10, makes a big split, or whether he shoots 300, absolutely, I'm going to high five him, shake his hand, or congratulate him. But I mean, I'm fighting for my life and trying to get to the show. The last thing I'm going to do is, give some guy 5 because he just tripped the 4. the proper etiquette there would be a throat punch, not giving him 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Randy, we run a pretty interactive program here. I'm gonna get to some questions. One question is Herb Lyons writes in and says, Randy, what's the reason you don't bowl much on the PBA 50?
Herb, I've got bad knees. 3 knee surgeries on my left knee. Now my right knee's bad, so I have to have that replaced. My knees are shot. So, all that good clean living and my knees I just have bad knees, man. What's the difference between working with Dave and working with Rob? 2 completely different guys. I mean, they're both great guys. I mean, Rob's my man. Dave's just a true professional and really good at what he does, but 2 completely different personalities. And I guess it just depends on what you like. I like working with both guys, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Rob's my guy, and if I had to pick one over the other, it's going to be Rob. With certainly not one speck of disrespect meant to Dave. Now, it did say Dave. I'm assuming, is it Dave Lamont or Dave Ryan?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And it actually holds true for both Daves. Both Daves are just wonderful guys and just great people. But yeah, Rob's going to be my first choice always.
Randy, over the years, you've worked with so many different play-by-play guys. You've had to train some on the job even as much. Has that been difficult for you over the years, having to work with so many different people? I mean, probably arguably the greatest call of all time was a guy that you worked with for one event.
Yeah, Gary Thorne.
Yeah.
Strike to claim it. Strike to claim. Now, I'd already set up that 10th frame. But some of these guys always have to leave their mark. It's like better than most. That's all you remember, right? And I'm looking at this guy, Gary, who's never called a bowling. Gary is an awesome announcer, but I'm like, hey, bro, you're stealing my thunder over here. I just set that up. Strike to claim it. I'm like, I'm going to strike you to claim it. Mike, it really depends on the person, the announcer, and how comfortable they are. I'll tell you what, Dave Ryan is a seasoned announcer, but when we did that last show with the podium down there, and he wasn't really sure what we were, where we were going, what we were doing. And I just kept saying, Dave, you're going to do great. You're going to be fine. And then we did our first segment. We go to break, and I looked at him and said, bro, that was awesome. You did great. Thank you. And he said, literally thanked me after the show and during, saying, thank you so much. That really helped me. I mean, keep in mind, you guys are a team, right? And when I worked with somebody, like when I first started working with Jack Kabowski, it was, for me, I looked at it as an opportunity to make it my show, and really take that show over. While Mike kind of weaved his way into feeling comfortable. And, as things progressed, Mike got better and better. Just like when I first started, I sucked. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that still think I do. But it took me a while to figure it out and to get comfortable and to, think about something as simple as we're getting ready to go to break. And sometimes I'll take us to break, right? So they'll throw the replay up, I'll talk on it, and then I'll say, hey, lots more to come from Vegas. As I'm doing all that, I got a producer talking in my headset. 9, 8, 7. That takes a little bit of getting used to. So a lot of different announcers over the years, a lot of great guys that I've worked with. A lot of people that have helped me along the way. had some really great producers that have helped and helped me get better. One of the things I truly miss doing was, I got talked into, I think it was maybe season 4, and Mike Roth, our producer, season 4, season 5, he talked me into learning how to do interviews. And I was not comfortable in front of the camera anyway. And they talked me into doing interviews, and Rothy said, hey, I'll help you. And eventually I got really solid at doing those interviews and real comfortable, and really looked forward to doing them, where there was a time where I would literally look at my watch or my phone and count the seconds, praying that we didn't have enough time to do a winner interview so that I didn't have to go down to the floor. And then now I'm like, hey guys, by the way, if Kimberly's doing that, if you need a loser interview, or if you need me to fill some time, or whatever. But that took a while to get comfortable with that.
Yeah, during the Steve Miller era, I believe, is when I started seeing you do a bunch of interviews, going back and watching some old clips. And I remember you would actually, you had to unplug, run down, get plugged back in downstairs.
Right.
Then it was, pulling them in. And I remember you interviewed Weber
for
U.S. Open, and I thought that was an excellent interview, bro. I thought that was really good.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
you got into your zone on those interviews, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like Kimberly now, but it was cool when you did that.
At some point, it became clear as to what questions you should be asking, and I would always kind of watch the action and kind of let that dictate where I was going to go. If something happened, I mean, people want to know, hey, what happened? What happened there? What were you thinking? What were you thinking in the 10th frame there, Pete? What was going on with you in the crowd? What, you know what I mean? So you just kind of let the action take you to the question, in my opinion.
Yeah, and a good tip for anybody that goes back and watches those on YouTube. But the other thing I liked about you is you always had on the big coat, and by that time of the day, your sport coat was kind of a little bit not perfect, and it always seemed to be a little bigger on you too, for whatever reason. And you would get out of the way as soon as you were done with the question. You and the microphone just darted out. It was like the Batman walking away from this thing.
Well, and the reason for that is, if the interview is over, they don't want to see me. They want to see the winner.
Exactly.
Get out of the way and give him his moment.
Yep.
This show is not about me. This show is about the players, and my job is to be entertaining and informative while calling the action for the greatest bowlers in the world. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to read this at the same time. That's kind of my mindset each and every week, and some play-by-play guys make it a lot easier for you than others. And, that's like Rob and I, and he's so clever and so smart and so good. And he truly loves doing the PBA Tour. And Rob's a big shot at Fox. So we're lucky to have him. Let me read this question. Randy, any players back in the day you absolutely hated crossing with during competition for one reason or another, such as too slow a pace for you, bad attitude, too vocal? There was one guy that I hated crossing with or bowling next to, and that was Ernie Schlegel, because he was so freaking slow. Who was Rash is tough to bowl, or he was, because he boxed a lot. He used to anyway. When I was still competing, he would balk a lot. Some of the guys back in the day, when they'd strike, they'd slap their hands like this, and you could hear him. If you were down on 1 and 2, you could hear him on 31 and 2. But because back then a lot of guys did that. But honestly, I don't remember a lot of guys I hated bowling next to or with. It was just the slow guys that nobody liked, being near or bowling with. It was better bowling with them than next to him. But Schlegel was one of the slowest ever. And I'm not saying that because I left an A-pin on him and he danced around like a drunk monkey. Okay, I'm saying that because I hate him. Yeah. Other than that, what's your favorite announcing tagline you use? Bartender, make it a double. That's actually Rob's. My favorite is a new one that I broke out at the World Championship that really didn't get enough attention. So, okay. Matt, I'm gonna throw it at you because it really didn't get enough press. somebody threw this massive messenger, and then we replayed it, and I said, and here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, and here's so-and-so doing his best Geppetto, carving wood. And I got nothing. I mean, it was like crickets. Now, Dave Ryan thought it was hilarious. He couldn't breathe, but yeah. And everybody in the booth thought it was hilarious. But I got no write-up on social media for it. Nothing. Doing his best Geppetto. Now, the only thing I could think of was nobody knew the name of the guy who carved Pinocchio. And his name's Geppetto.
Yeah, it's probably it's just too old of a reference, I guess, in today's.
Maybe I got to get. I'll come up with like some Little Wayne references or something. You know, I don't know.
He may even be a little too old too. You might have to Drake, Tory Lanez. Drake's a good one. Everybody knows Drake, so I would say Drake over Lil Wayne.
Well, guys, listen. Just so you know, I'm looking for writers. So anytime you want to drop me lines, I have this memo on my phone of all these lines. Like I came up with cooler than a polar bear's feet. His pillow is cool on both sides. You know, just fun stuff like that. Just try to drop in. Try not to get carried away with that, but you know, drop one in here and there and get people talking about it.
We have a guy on our staff named Gray Marshall, the Ringing 10. You may have seen the Ringing 10 on Twitter.
Yeah,
all the funny memes and everything.
I followed them.
Yeah, we brought him on board. He's part of Inside Bowling now, and he's the one that's been asking some of these questions. So we'll get him on the writing, and I'll make sure I put you two in touch because
awesome.
That's all the guy does.
I think they're the ones that did the reunited bit with Rob Stone and I last year.
Yeah, it
was hilarious. And then Rob comes to me and goes, "This is absolutely brilliant. It's genius." He says, "Who are these people?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know who they are."
Yeah, well, we saw him, and Gray's part of our team now here at Inside Bowling.
That's tremendous. Well, congrats on that.
He's a great dude. Randy, our time is up with you at this point in time, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to thank all of those that support you, what you have going on. I saw that you had some sort of, membership or something you're also promoting right before all this that happened. So fill everybody in on what you got going on.
Well, we've been working on it for some time. So it's me and two guys from the military. So two Air Force guys. One's a captain, and so we decided, and obviously they're both bowlers. So we kind of worked on this idea of starting a randypedersen.com website where you could download video of your game, and I could use a tool that actually has drawing tools. It's got a drag wheel where I can slow-mo back and forth and basically give you audio critique using the drawing tools and help you to improve your game. So you basically go to the site, you download your video. We explain on the website how to shoot the video from behind and from the side. And then I go and I do like a 3-minute lesson, 3 to 5 minute lesson on both pieces, on both angles. I send it back, upload it. The military guys contact the customers and let them know that their video has been critiqued and it's now ready to be viewed. It gets sent back to their email, and they can watch their video. The nice thing also about it is there's locker storage on the application that I used to do the lessons on, to where I could actually store. And then if somebody were to buy a series of lessons, we could then split screen and show the before and after at the same time using all the same drawing tools, so you can actually see the progress. And then also there's a small membership area that we add content to, insider trading information. Honestly, we don't do that, but behind the scenes stuff that you would never see. Me interviewing Belmonte an hour before the show, or 2 hours before the show, or the night before. Me talking to Norm Duke with a beer at South Point. Me, just kind of behind the scenes stuff that you'd never see. Telling the viewers a little bit about these guys you wouldn't know.
Cool. And how do people do that? Over at randypedersen.com?
randypedersen.com. Remember, Pedersen is a D and all E's.
That's right.
Yeah. SEN for all you rookies out there that don't take your time to spell check when you have guests on the show. Make sure you get it down.
Hey, Matt, it's okay. You're young, and it's a knee-jerk reaction to the spelling of Pedersen. I'm surprised you got the D right, honestly.
No, I see. I knew that. I was like, I know his last name's not the traditional Pedersen here, so I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to throw that T in there instead of the D. But I didn't take it to the full extent for that. I apologize, but I promise.
Hey, that's okay, buddy. That's all right.
Maybe I'll bring you some of those fresh baked chocolate chip cookies when I see you. You did such a great job, and you're such a great sport on that.
Well, thanks. And I'm hoping that this isn't the last time you have me on, because it was a lot of fun. That segment with that, hey, do the commentary, that was priceless.
That was fun.
Oh, that was great. Guys, thank you so much. And stay safe during these trying times, and hope that we can run into each other without hazmat suits on somewhere down the road.
Absolutely. Thanks, Randy.
Hey, guys.
Randy.
Yeah, be good.
Well, there you have it. Randy Pedersen joins us today. Got to know him a little bit better. We dealt with some internet issues there for a little bit, and our Facebook thing went down. And but Randy hung in there with us, and was a great guest to have again.
Great guest. Was it that bad listening to me? Was it choppy and like you couldn't hear anything I said?
The voice wasn't terrible, but the video feed was.
Yeah, I don't know. I talked to my family today in the house, and I was like, why? We all work on this side of the house. Why is the router on the other side of the house? And then I was like, you know what? Today I'm gonna redo it, and this is just the ultimate sign of the fact that it needs to be moved. So that'll be taken care of. Hopefully, this whole Facebook Live will be up and running again back tomorrow. But what a great guest! I mean, Randy's hilarious. I knew he was funny, but I don't think I knew he was that funny.
Oh, yeah.
Really grateful that he took the time.
PG-13 today with old Randy.
Yeah, it's always a good time having Randy on. And we've got a couple minutes left here. Yep. I think it's time to talk. It'd be a cool time to talk about something. Something fun. Last week you mentioned earlier to Randy about the Pba Mock Drafts, and you were asked to be a part of that with Stu Williams, Chris Barnes, Jeff Goodger, John Burkett, and Chad Murphy. And I want to talk, Mike, I want to put you on the spot here real quick. I want to talk about the decision that you had to pick the people that you did. And it was seen as very questionable in a lot of people's eyes. And I see the reasoning behind it, but I think it's time for you to talk through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this up here on the screen, Mike. I'm making this little video here for you.
Okay.
I'm going to share this. The audio's here, so you should be able to hear the audio. Okay. Let me know if you need boost. But these are Mike's picks. These are Mike's picks. Mike got 5 picks, and these are the
Milwaukee
picks
for the
Milwaukee. Correct.
I got to draft the whole team, and this was my strategy. So here we go.
Here we go.
Ryan Simonelli. Ryan Simonelli is my first pick. Going with Patrick Hanrahan with our second pick. Patty Hanrahan right here. Matt McNeil with our third pick.
I, Matt Sanders, will be the 4th pick on the Milwaukee something team.
Well, we are going to take Michael Martell with our final pick.
no.
Nice supercut there.
Yeah, just clean, easy, super easy to do. So you picked all 5 lefties. All 5 lefties.
I did.
Now, to some people, they'd be like, why is this guy on the stream? This is a joke. He's not taking it seriously. He's being a donk. He's not doing it the right way. Tell people why is that really not that far-fetched?
Well, because if I let's say I take Rash with the number 1 pick, and then I follow it up with maybe like probably Dick Allen and Francois Lavoie are gone. So then who do I take with the 4th pick? Do I take a Chris Vi? Do I take a Darren Tang? Do I take just as I'm building this team, if you put these right-handers against some of these pre-built teams already with 3 Hall of Famers starting out as protects, in my opinion, you're at a disadvantage. So I wanted to set up a team that has the potential to win if things happen a certain way. So nobody's ever put together a team of 5 left-handers in that league. And if they get it going and for some reason the left is easier or the right-handers, right-handers, we're all stupid. We screw up lane patterns for each other. I was just kind of thinking that maybe there'd be an opportunity here that we could win. We might finish last, but we might win. And I don't think that we'd really fall too much in between. It's either feast or famine approach. And then the other thing is it's all about publicity, right? And you got to get your Milwaukee franchise some publicity. So we would be the lead story on every show that we were on. It doesn't matter if Belmo's on the other team or if it's the defending champion, the Lumberjacks. The lead story, in my opinion, would be, and today, a first time in PBA league history, we've got a team of Southpaws here. And I think that the crowd would get around these Southpaws. And I think the Southpaws, because they don't get much respect, I think them bowling together with a chip on their shoulder would be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think there's more to it. And also, you got to remember, when you get to that level of playing, right? Again, in the PBA league, they're not bowling on the U.S. Open lane pattern, right? They're bowling on like a modified, easier condition. So when you put out a modified, easier condition, you get people that are in the top 50 bowlers in the world, right? I think you have to be on the top 75 list. So you're getting somebody that's in the top 75 in the world, right? And you put them on a somewhat easier condition. All of a sudden, the difference between, someone like Belmo and someone who's 75th on the points list, there's really not much of a gap, right? Like any of those guys can go out there and average 270 for a 6-game, 7-game block, right? Crazy things can happen. And I think that the left has proven to be good throughout the PBA playoffs, the PBA league, the Mark Roth and Marshall Holman doubles in the past. And so, like you said, feast or famine, right? Like, what's the harm in winning one championship every 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? It's better than finishing second, third, fourth, fifth, and winning once every 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah, and I didn't pick Holloman, not because I didn't think that he was worthy of a pick. I needed another guy that went about him pretty straight, that's going to be able to play left of the second arrow. And I really wanted somebody in that 2-hole that was going to be super consistent, probably wrap a few sevens here and there. I really wasn't looking for power out of that last spot. Otherwise, I would have taken Holloman. But that lineup shakes out kind of like the Simonelli Bulls anchor. The leadoff bowler is debatable, but probably would be Matt Sanders. Martell would bowl second. Hanrahan would bowl third, and Matt McNeil would bowl fourth on that team. And even though Simonelli has a high rev rate, he's got the ability to crank up the ball speed and just stay
crank up the ball speed. I think that's even an under that he can throw it a million.
Yeah. So, and the big thing coming out of this, and we're running out of time until tomorrow, but the one thing that I am interested to see is whenever this draft happens, is it going to be talked about? Is somebody going to bring up, will one of the expansion teams take all left-handers? And will people think about it now? I don't know if they will or not. Probably not. People are too scared to do it. But if it was me, based off of who's in the draft pool, you got one superstar in the draft pool, and the rest of the guys are all accomplished players, but they're not top 3 Hall of Fame like some of these other teams have that have started that way. And I just feel like that's really important to put together a strategy to win your first year in this PBA league. It's not about finishing third or fourth or mid-pack. It's about winning the league, and that's why I took that strategy.
Yeah, well, bold strategy, as they say in dodgeball, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. Unfortunately, we won't, because it's not a real draft. It was just a little fun mock draft. But, Mike, do you think that you would actually potentially do something like that? If you were the manager of a team, right, and you got to draft your team, would you do something like that?
From scratch?
Yes.
Yeah. But I wouldn't take that approach if I already had Duke and O'Neal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't say let's find a lefty to protect and enroll with, all of our 2 picks will be left-handed. No, I wouldn't do that. The other thing that I contemplated was putting together a really young team of bowlers consisting of like Brad Miller, BJ Moore, Nick Pate, the Tangs, Chris Vi.
Basically just the house.
Yeah, I considered that approach as well. AJ Johnson. I would have picked AJ Johnson probably as my first pick on that team.
I think that would be a good play from like a media standpoint, from a promotion standpoint. You put the house, 5 people from the house, all on the same team together. Because
I would have taken AJ Johnson though first, so it wouldn't have been quite the way that you did it. But I would have taken AJ if I was taking that approach of young right-handed bowlers, nothing to lose, don't know any better than just to go out there and win.
Right.
Then I could have potentially done that.
Yeah, I think. So, yeah, I think there's so many different strategies, and and I think it's hard as well when you have the best bowlers in the world. You know, it's like, it's, you know, you've got great bowlers, and any of them that are out there could be a good pick. And it also kind of stinks for some people because you're being judged based upon, you know, such a small portion of bowling. You know, when you go out there, you're getting only a couple shots a game. And if you guys lose in the first round, you're literally only getting a couple shots on television inside of that, and you're not getting as much experience, and you're not getting, you know, the you know, maybe the time of observation for people to understand, like, hey, you know, this person would be really good to have on our team. You know, unfortunately, if you throw 3 bad shots and you eliminate in the first round, and you threw 3 out of 5 bad shots, you're probably not going to be asked to be back again.
Yep, probably not.
So,
Speaking of being back again, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
End of our show for today, Matt. Went by really quick again, as always. Maybe we'll add extra hours once we get these sponsors, but hopefully we help spend some time with you today and pass some time and enjoy some bowling talk along with Randy Pedersen earlier today. What a great guest. So, Matt, I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, right?
Yeah, same time. Hopefully Facebook Live working tomorrow, and no spelling errors. So let's appreciate everybody tuning in. Heading on over to our YouTube. We're definitely going to get this posted up on Facebook. So thanks again, guys. We really appreciate it. And we hope that you all have a fun, safe day.
Yep. And our guest tomorrow, Chuck Gardner. Definitely want to stick around for that one. Chuck Gardner. He's got a lot of fans out there looking forward to talking over with Chuck, some Bowl for Life, some Brunswick, whatever else he's got going on. We'll see you guys tomorrow here on the Inside Bowling Show.
See you tomorrow.